542 is still on synthetic division, dividing polynomials, except today we're going to talk about what it means to be a factor of a polynomial. So if the remainder is 0 when you synthetically divide, it means you've found a factor. So if it is 0, it is a factor. The directions on yesterday's lesson told you to divide, and that was it. And so your answer is some kind of polynomial. But today, the directions are going to say, determine whether it is a factor. They will probably give you one polynomial and a whole bunch to check. So if you take a look at the first example, that cubic, that x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x, is to be used for both, or for all of 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to take a second and put a plus 0 there because it's missing a constant. So in number 1, negative 2 will go in my half box. My coefficients are 1, negative 3, negative 4, and 0. Start by bringing down the 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, combined with the negative 3 is negative 5. Negative 2 times negative 5 is 10, combined with the negative 4 is 6. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12, combined with the 0 is negative 12. Because that is a number other than 0, this is not a factor. In number 2, we're using the same coefficients of 1, negative 3, negative 4, and 0, but now in the half box we're putting a positive 4. Start by bringing down the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, combined is 1. 4 times 1 is 4, combined is 0. And 4 times 0 is 0, combined is 0. Because this number is a 0, this is a yes. You're looking for a remainder of 0. Number 3, same coefficients, 1, negative 3, negative 4, and 0. Now I have a negative 1 in the half box. Start by bringing down the 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, combined is negative 4. Negative 1 times negative 4 is 4, combined is 0. And negative 1 times 0 is 0, combined is 0. Because that's a 0, this is a factor. So in the you try it's, number 1 is not a factor because you get a remainder other than 0. Number 2 is a factor because the remainder is 0. Take a look at the directions for the next set. They've changed a lot. Now it's saying use synthetic division and the given factor to completely factor. So what they're telling me is, using that polynomial, this factor right here is a factor for sure, which means my remainder has to be 0. Still double check this polynomial is in standard form with everybody there. So my coefficients are 1, negative 4, negative 9, and 36. I'm going to put a positive 3 in the half box. Because they're telling me it's a factor, I need to get 0 as a remainder. If I start by bringing down the 1, 3 times 1 is 3, combined is negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, combined is negative 12. And 3 times negative 12 is negative 36, combined is 0. If this number right here is not 0, you messed up somewhere. Because I started with a cubic, my answer is a quadratic, x squared minus x minus 12. The directions are asking you to factor it completely. The word factor should make you think parentheses. You're really looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1. Those numbers happen to be minus 4 and plus 3. A really quick check if you factored it completely is that the degree of the polynomial should match the number of x's in your answer. And because this degree right here was a 3, I should have 3 factors, but I only have 2. The third one is actually given to you every time. So the third one I usually just tack right on the end as part of my answer. So I factored that polynomial completely. Number 2, this is an x cubed, and everybody is there in terms of placeholders. So I have 1, a negative 5, a negative 28, and a positive 32. In the half box, I'm going to put a positive 8. Start by bringing down the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, combined is 3. 8 times 3 is 24, combined is negative 4. And 8 times negative 4 is negative 32, combined as 0. Just a quick check. If that's not 0, you messed up somewhere. That cubic that we started with turns into a quadratic when I divide, and I need to factor that. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 4 and add to 3. They happen to be a positive 4 and a negative 1. And don't forget, whatever factor you started with is part of your answer. I started with a cubic, which means I would need 3 sets of parentheses when I'm done. So quick heads up for this one, if you wanted to, you could write the x minus 5 twice. It's just not as pretty if you wrote it as a quantity square.